Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Nerds Order Music. Today, our guest is a member of Hanging Garden. What's up, man?
It's pretty hot in here.
Oh, I know your
So
pain. It's
yeah, it's
summer.
around 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know that what's that in Fahrenheit, but
I do not know, but it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit here, and it
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm sweating like a pig.
Oh my god, dude! I feel I'm the same way. I hate it. It's like, damn it. All
I've
right.
got I've got two fans blowing at my face right now because that's the only way to stay alive.
Hey, at least you got some. I got nothing down here. Whew. All right, let's get started. So, what first got you into music?
Uh, well, I guess when I was like very small, something like 7 years old, and I was listening to uh, the Holy Diver album by Dio, and that's when I kind of decided that I need to be on stage one day.
Dude,
So, well, it took me like 10 years more before I started to like dabble in metal, like making music. But from there on, it's been kind of non-stop projects.
dude, I just played Dio yesterday, the Holy Diver album. I have the CD. I literally just played it yesterday. Oh
Yeah,
man, I fucking love
it's
Dio. His voice is amazing.
yeah, there's no other like
Yeah,
him.
there's no comparison. It's like back then and even today, his stuff is still really high up there. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Alright.
got this like a fucking powerful chest voice where like most even tenor singers have this like a thin head voice going on, and Dio somehow manages to produce like this fucking huge wall of sound from his
Dude,
throat.
I couldn't agree more, man. All right. So when did the band form?
Hanging Garden. 2004. It was founded by uh, Ari Niemi. Yeah, Ari and Matti, who are no longer in the band. So the only original member in our lineup currently is Mikko Kolari, the guitarist. I joined the band in 2010, so 11 years ago now.
Damn, that's awesome. So you guys have been around for a while. I love that.
Yeah, we have to start thinking about what we want to do for our 20th anniversary, which is in what, 3 years.
Dude, that's just fantastic. I love that. It shows you guys are determined.
Yeah, I guess it's one of the secrets of our longevity is like how painless it's been to work together with this group. So it's kind of this endless flow of inspiration and production. So uh, that's why we have kept going these years.
That's wonderful. What inspired the band name?
You would have to ask the founding members, but I think it's some kind of a reference to The Cure.
Uh, all right. What is your music writing process like for the band? Like, how does a song come together?
Uh, Usually, uh, an individual member makes a demo production alone because it's quite possible these days. Uh, and then we kind of share our ideas, and there's usually a lot. And after we've like selected a bunch of candidates for a next release, we start to go through this pre-production process. Our guitarist Jussi Hämäläinen is the one who is our producer, and he kind of goes through all the material and thinks, suggests to the rest what will be which songs will be like eligible for the release, and then we will start like writing our own parts. Usually it's me and Riikka who come up with the lyrical themes and vocal arrangements, and then Jussi goes through with the like the overall sound and structure, and then each member gets to contribute their own instruments, like the fine tuning and the flavors within the song structure.
Yeah.
So that's about how the songs come about.
Yes, that's fucking amazing. I always love hearing how it comes together when I do these. It's so rewarding. All right.
Yeah, it's the like most amazing thing I think in
Definitely.
creating music is when the like life is breathed into the new songs or ideas.
For real. Well, speaking of lyrics, what was the meaning of the song "Nowhere Heaven"?
The meaning, I guess we had this process on this album that most of the songs Riikka listened to, and she wrote her like initial the ideas and feelings, emotions, sounds like the mind sceneries they evoked in her. Like she just made notes, and then we wrote the lyrics together. And I think the Nowhere Haven had this kind of biblical feeling, like uh, like the chorus says, the gilded tongues, they were serpentine, and like I think it's this thought about how prominent figures or leaders they lead us with false promises and hatred, like their motives are suspicious, and these kinds of things that have been going around, like rising throughout the world. May this phenomenon that is prevalent in all societies currently is what gave her the inspiration to write the song. And then I structured the English lyrics from her notes.
That's beautiful. I love that song a lot, and because I'm an observer, I look at stuff like that in the world, so I instantly picked that up when I was listening to it. So I just wanted to ask about it.
Yeah, actually, the observer point is quite prominent in the song as well. For me, because when you write lyrics, you have to choose the perspective, and in this case, it's kind of this passive narrator, like in a dead world, that tries to guide the spirits of the last living beings, like to find out what happened and where we went wrong. So that was kind of my mindset when I wrote the lyrics.
See, when I first heard that song, I was like, it was breathtaking for me. I was speechless because I take it from that point of view. Like, I observe everything wrong with the world, and I try to do my own shit and like do my own thing without dealing with it. And I always look at that pain that has become of this world, like with politics, discrimination, all of it. And when I
Yeah,
first heard this, I picked up on it immediately, and I loved how it all came together. Like honestly, it's one of my favorite songs to this day now. It's on my top 10 list. I love it.
thanks, man. It's a special song for me and for us as well.
Yeah, it truly is beautiful in my opinion. I sent it over to my buddies who are the same way as I am, and they're like, "Dude, we see why you love this song because they know I do this and they love watching like this stuff." And I told them about the song "Nowhere Haven," and they're all like blown away by it.
Nice.
Yeah, and they all had the same reactions, like, dude, this is how the world is right now. And I'm like, you think? Man,
So glad to hear that.
dude, definitely good work, man. Keep it going.
We will try.
Man, from everything I've seen so far, you're gonna succeed too. I mean, you guys already got a vinyl. That's one big milestone.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
so proud of you guys for real. Like everything I've heard so far, I loved.
Thanks.
Well, speaking of that album, what inspired the artwork for that album?
It was actually I had this vision because the wintry theme of the album, that I wanted this kind of more type of illustration rather than the usual graphic design style we've had with our long time graphic artist Kalle Pyyhtinen. So this time I wanted to ask my friend, who is a visual artist for a game company, and he does these amazing like digital paintings. And so I decided to ask him if he would be interested in making this wintry painting, and I sent him all of the lyrics and the songs, the first mixes of the songs, and asked, like, gave him a free hand to try out what would be like what would depict the mood and lyrical themes of the album, and he came up with the artwork you see now, and I think it's like perfect
It
for the
is.
songs and the album.
Like I'm looking at it again right now, and I just love how it all comes together.
Yeah.
Skeleton Lake. I love the name of that too. Has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it's I'm like happy with everything about this album, which is hasn't always been the case with the like previous albums. Of course, I'm proud and happy about each of our releases, but this feels somehow special.
Yeah, it feels right in a way.
Yeah. And I forget to mention the name of the artist. Marko Laine is the one who made the art.
Nice. Big shout out to him. This was amazing. Like
Yeah.
when I first saw the album art, I was also like, I just wanted to listen to the whole album after I saw it, and I binged the whole thing in a single sitting. I'm like, I love this. Oh man. Like I put up my big speakers, hooked that up, and just had the whole playthrough of it, just sitting through it, and it was amazing. I loved every song.
Oh, nice.
All right, my next question is: who would you love to collaborate with the most, whether it be on stage or in a recording studio?
Come again? Sorry,
Who would you love to collaborate with the most?
uh, who would I want to collaborate the most with? I guess I would have to say Steve Von Till from Neurosis. He has, well, his solo project is one of the most meaningful like music to me in the world, and I think his voice is unique, and I would love to kind of get inside his head and how he comes up with the stuff. So yeah, I guess it would have to be Steve Von Till from Neurosis.
I'll have to look into that later for sure, because now I'm interested as hell. I always love looking up new music.
Check his album A Grave is a Grim Horse. That's fucking awesome.
All right, I'll definitely look into it. All right, my next question is: what is the best piece of advice you were ever given when beginning music?
I've had very little advice. Now I'll have to think about it a little bit. Best advice. Probably one was that I shouldn't expect to make a living out of it ever, because that's an important perspective. So, because if you set out making music and your sole purpose is to make a living through it, your dreams will be crushed quite soon.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to keep on going. Just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's continue.
All right. Yeah, I totally get that, because if you're doing music just to make money, then there's no real heart in it. And you see that a
Yeah.
lot with rap today, which is kind of unfortunate. Like not all of them, but some of them. Most
Yeah,
most of them.
I would like the business to be different, that it would be a viable source of income to do what you love and create music, but it's the current state of affairs is such that it's almost impossible. Like,
Unfortunately, you have to have like a huge following to pull that off, and that is very difficult to do. All right. My
yes.
next question is, what is next for Hanging Garden?
What is next? Well, currently we haven't played live in almost 2 years, and like next will be rehearsing for the gigs that are coming up in like early autumn, and we also already have a handful of new songs demoed. So, and on top of that, we also have some leftover songs from the studio sessions of the last album. So there are many things coming up next.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. I have one last question, and that is, do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for you?
Mm-hmm.
What were the highlights of the new album for you?
That's honestly, if I was to point out a few highlights, definitely Nowhere Heaven and Winter's Kiss were my favorites out of the whole album.
Cool.
But like I said, I do love every song on here. It's just those two stood out the most to me.
Okay. That's very nice to hear, because this is like the first album that I've composed songs to, and Winter's Kiss is the other of the two songs that I composed for this album. So of course I was very, very like anxious and excited to see how people would react, or what kind of reception would like my first Hanging Garden songs have.
Well,
And
I
it
loved it.
seems that people have liked
I
Winter's
definitely loved
Kiss,
it.
even though it has this like gothic rock metal vibe and more maybe pop elements than we've ever had in any songs. Did you check out the music videos for any of the songs?
I need to. I haven't had the time much because I've been so busy with a lot of stuff, but I'm hoping to do that today. Like I have it like saved on my list already to watch, so I'm hoping to do that right after this section.
Yeah, everything there is very DIY, but as almost every music video we've ever made is like in-house production, zero budget stuff. But yeah, go check them out. They
Definitely.
have some ideas in
I'll
them.
definitely do that. And hey, sometimes DIY stuff is some of the best stuff because it shows that they're passionate about what they're doing. That they're
Yeah.
doing everything by hand.
Yeah, well, that's true also. But I would hope that we would one day like get some budget for video production, so we could maybe put some more time into them.
Yeah. Hey, only time will tell, my friend.
Yeah.
And so far, from what I've seen, you're definitely going the right path.
Thanks.
Of course. Any other questions for me?
What would I ask? Who are your favorite singers? I don't know if you've been asked like this kind of.
Now you got me on the spot. Cause I actually just introduced this question to my to my last interview. So this is a new question I just thrown in there to make things more fun. Let's see here.
Because then I will tell you mine.
All right. You go first, and I'll go second.
Well, of course, Ronnie James Dio is like the best and the vocal god for me. Then also like the earlier works of Mikael Åkerfeldt from Opeth. He's been like one of the biggest inspirations in extreme metal for me. Then also Vortex from Arcturus and Dimmu Borgir.
Nice.
Probably those. Yeah.
All right. My first one would have to be Brian Michael Will from Currents. His music is actually what got me started on this adventure of mine. His music got me out of more times than I can count. Like when I first heard his stuff, I had a blade to my throat, and it got me to think clearly again, and I was able to recover.
Oh man.
I'll send the song over later. It is probably the most emotional song I've heard in a while. Second vocalist would have to be, second musician would have to be Jonathan Davis from Korn. Love his stuff. He had a lot of his songs has so much meaning. You know, when I look into metal, I love the stuff that has like really deep symbolism, which is what I'm kind of big on. So that is definitely another one. And my third would have to be, I'm trying to think, Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a few others who aren't in metal who I've also got to work with, and it's been a blast. Like the singer of Halu, it's an alternative, like hippie kind of vibe music, but it's really relaxing when you're like stressed out. So it's really soothing for the mind. But yeah, working with her was a blast. That was like, months ago when I first got started with this. I've only been doing this since January. Like I've only started this up this year.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for me, or?
From the top of my head, I can't come up with any like profound questions right now.
It's all right.
Yeah. As your channel is named, what nerd?
Oh, that. It's because I'm not the only one who does this. We do more than just music. We do games, comics, other stuff like that. This is just my personal segment I run. There's 2 other team members.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it's called Nerds Order. It's because it's a nerd group. It's not just music. Even though I'm the one who's been posting recently, it's just a thing we do together. So it's not just a thing I run.
Yeah. Okay. I asked because I'm a huge nerd myself, and like gaming is for me both a profession and a passion. So.
Yeah, I feel you. I love playing old school and new games. Like behind me, I have an NES, a PS4, a GameCube, Wii, Game Boy, PSP Go. Like I like all the old school shit.
Yeah, I've had most of it too, but I was doing this kind of KonMari thing where I try to get rid of stuff I don't have room for. So
yeah,
I've been.
Actually, speaking of nerd, behind me you can see an arcade machine on the wall.
Oh yeah, which one is it?
It's Pac-Man, but it has like 8 games on it. Galaga, Pac-Man, a bunch of others, and it works too. It's so much fun.
So it's an emulator based.
Actually, no, it's all the original chips.
Oh,
none of it's emulated. All of it is original programs from the companies.
That's damn awesome.
Yep. The company is called Arcade One Up. They make the machines. They get the chips from the original creators, and all of it is authentic.
Nice.
Yep, it's so much fun. They do like full size arcade cabinets, and then do ones you can hang on the wall. Nice. It's a blast, and they're pretty cheap too. Not that much. Oh. Like this one was like maybe 200 around that. $200 US.
Okay, well that's a good price.
I mean, comparing it to newer game systems, I think that's a steal. Look at the PS5. That shit's priced out of its mind.
Yeah,
That's just why I haven't gotten one yet. I'm just like, I'm good with my last gen. Thank you very much.
All right.
Man, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being here with us today, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like I first found this, like I said, I was going through Spotify. It was like 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep for shit since I was in one of those insomnia periods. And I came across this playlist and I see this on it. I'm like, I'll give it a listen. And I just fell in love with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm
And
so
then I wanted
glad to hear that.
And after I found that song, I just looked up the whole album and just listened to all of it. And I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for having me. And
dude, thanks for being here. This has been a blast.
I'm looking forward to hearing myself.
I look forward to it too. Honestly, when I edit these though, I hate hearing my own voice because that's just how I am. But I love hearing what the bands say. It's so rewarding.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a universal thing that people, myself included, hate their own voices.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just can't stand my own voice.
There was actually a good on this YouTube channel. There was a very good explanation for it, and it's kind of this cognitive dissonance that happens when, because of the difference that how you hear your voice through your like bone transmission and how it actually sounds, and that dissonance is what makes you hate your voice. Like for me, your voice is very pleasing, and probably you yourself think that it's somehow thin and nasal and annoying, and that's what I think about my voice as well when I hear it recorded.
That makes way too much sense, because my voice, it sounds higher to me, but it's lower when I actually play it back, and I'm just like, So I definitely know that pain all too well.
But yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to cut the recording here. This has been another episode of Nerds Order Music. Today, our guest was Tony from Hanging Garden. Thank you so much for being here with us today, man.
Thanks to you. It was awesome.